Jason shall perish! Fight!
Chivalry 2 has recently gone through many changes, from the Galencourt map coming in August of this year, adding one of the biggest new maps and additions, and of course that smaller courtyard rumble style of playground. And in their video announcing that big update, one of their main points that the developers talked about was that the game would eventually double in size from point of release for free. And oh my, it seems that they are sticking to their word. Yesterday, Torn Banner, the developers for Chivalry 2, released a public test, an incredibly time-limited test to try out the new features in the next upcoming update for the game. The follow-up to the Galencourt patch is going to include 2 new game modes, one still secret and unknown to fans, way more armor options, skin looks, and of course beautiful weapon designs, and additionally we'll have DLSS coming into the game as well. The test only went on for a few hours, so if you didn't catch their tweet, you missed it. You had to download the 19GB file, yes, it was mental for a patch. Then you only had a few hours to test and play it before they shut it down and it went away forever. Don't be sad if you did miss it. They said they will be doing more limited time tests for every update that they have in the future, so they can fix things before they release the full content. So, what did I get to play? Well, it was focused on testing the matchmaking for one of the 2 new game modes, Last Team Standing, including new optimization options for the game, DLSS, and of course testing the new rapier sword. So let me get DLSS out of the way, because I think most people watching this don't really care, because you might not have a 3000 series card, which is understandable. And I mean, it's fine. It works as DLSS. We all know what it does. It upscales your game, making it look just as gorgeous while giving you a ton more FPS. And, you know, it did pretty much that in Chivalry 2. I did, however, get the feeling it was still in an early stage when it comes to game implementation, but as a test, I didn't really have any issues with it. But now, let's get onto the meat of the video. This new game mode, Last Team Standing. I'm so happy we got to test this one out, and this was the one that they pushed forward because my was it a fun one. This is one of my favorite game modes, I think, and on release is going to be the one that majority of more competitive players look into and play. So Last Team Standing works as follows. 2 teams, 1 life each. Once you're dead, you're dead. That's it. Now, it does have its issues, don't get me wrong, but I love the extra tension it adds. Having that one life means you're so much more cautious to just running into battle. Now you've really got to stick together, find a friend, work together to take out the enemy. One life mode does have that issue, as you'd expect, where once one team starts to get the upper hand because no one else is spawning in, they eventually start to snowball and take over the other team. But this just adds to the tension. Those first few seconds, the first 2 or 3 kills are the most important ones of the game, so you really need to be working together for that moment. There is no point trying to solo take out the enemy team in this game mode. It's just not gonna work. The rounds are first to 5 and are covered on pretty much all the existing maps within the game. I think first to 5 was a decent choice with scoring. I mean, it's really hard with a game mode like this to find the perfect length of match, as sometimes it can go on for 15 to 20 minutes as the teams go back and forth, each winning rounds until it's match point in a sudden death scenario, or you might have a game where one team wins all 5 rounds and the game is done in under 5 minutes. It's really hard to try and balance that, but I think the way they're going with the first to 5 is a decent compromise. I do see a lot of potential with this last team standing game mode, however. If clans were going to enter into the game with competitive matches, this would be the one that they use. Rounds with 1 life each, training to work together in groups and pairs to dispatch the enemy team. Something similar was actually done in Mordhau back in 2019. In the back of its early days, I had a clan that did these competitive battles within ourselves and with other clans as well. Everyone had 1 life, so we had footmen, we had dedicated armor units, and we trained together, then go into battles and try and take out the enemy team that also just had that 1 life. Tournaments were set up, and for the short while that it lasted, it was a lot of fun. It would be really nice to see something similar in Chivalry 2. One of the other big things that we got to have a go with in this playtest is the new rapier, the fastest stabbing weapon, infamous in a game like Mordhau, but it doesn't quite work the same. I definitely feel like it's been way more balanced in Chivalry 2, and they've done a lot of work doing that, probably learning from Mordhau's mistakes in the past. It's much slower, and it's very particular to how you use it, of course. Stabbing is the preferred approach in attacking, which you'd assume. Slashing does very little and does feel sluggish when on the battlefield. In the update, I did feel like they had also changed the dodging, making people fly everywhere, sliding around every which way, and it felt like their dodging mechanic had been buffed to no end. And this did actually push Chivalry 2's rapier gameplay a bit more similar to Mordhau, as everyone was ducking and diving, weaving side to side, sliding halfway across the map and just spam stabbing, making it a little bit infuriating for any heavy weapon wielding players. It makes sense, of course, that's what the rapier was supposed to be used for, but there does need to be some of that balance in there. And while Chivalry 2 does it better than Mordhau, with their changes to the strafing mechanic, it can feel a little bit overdone. As a side note to this, I'm not sure if it was this new strafing mechanic that was messing with something, or just bad connections, or maybe even a mix of both, but people were just glitching around, popping in all over the place, sometimes teleporting straight in front of you due to some weird new additions in the update, or maybe it was just the special server we were playing on, people having issues connecting to it. But that's definitely a note that I want to add in for the devs. Other than that though, we only got to test out a few things that will be in the final update, as it's going to bring out a new hidden game mode that hasn't been leaked yet, as well as many other fixes and content additions. On the feedback sheet they did give us afterwards, talking about what we wanted to see next, I did get some hints from that maps and game modes are going to be a big focus for Torn Banner in the future, so hopefully we'll be seeing more than that. As in any multiplayer game, content is king. But hey, let me know down in the comments if you played the limited playtest yesterday and what your thoughts were on it. But other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed that cool little montage at the beginning of the new rapier weapon and the last team standing game mode. If you want to see more stuff like that, make sure you subscribe. But leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it, leave a dislike if you didn't. But until then, I will see you in the next one.